You can use Mercury, you can use TransferWise, or you could use one of the standard U.S. banks. It's just that
Silicon
Valley banks, banks like Mercury don't require you to actually be present in the U.S. to open the bank account.
Cha-ching.
Welcome to the future.
Welcome to MacroActive Radio. This series takes you behind the scenes of the secret strategies and hands-on tactics that year after year have produced million-dollar results for an elite movement of influencers, experts, and mentors in the health and wellness industry. Listen and learn and join the movement.
Welcome to the future.
Hey, Ken Brickley here with MacroActive, sitting here with John Fernandes, our CFO. And a lot of times I get asked this question, hey, I live in a country where Stripe doesn't exist. How do I get set up with a bank account and onto Stripe? And, we can't give financial advice, but we can tell you how we did it with one of our businesses. John, recently we needed to have a bank account in the United States. And so walk us through, what did you do in your particular circumstance? And then for the listeners, they can obviously take what you've done and obviously run that past their accountant and get their own legal and financial advice. But how did you solve that problem from New Zealand?
Well, it was really simple and easy for us. After we did a bit of research to find a tax agent in the U.S. that could set up a U.S.-based LLC for us, the process, once we appointed them, took about 2 or 3 weeks. It started with first coming up with a name for the LLC, and then sending them a few names so that they could check what names were available, picking the state that we wanted to set the LLC up in.
What state was that?
They recommended Wyoming because that was the easiest state to get going in for what we wanted to do, which was simply collect cash in the U.S. and be able to make our U.S. payments in U.S. dollars and then repatriate the rest of the funds back to New Zealand. So we gave them the names. They went ahead and filed all the documents to set up the LLC there in the U.S. We had to sign a couple of forms around the LLC formation and the application for a tax ID in the U.S. Even though we would not have to pay any taxes because we don't operate there, we still had to be tax registered. There needed to be an operating agreement for the LLC that would be signed by the people operating the LLC. And they prepared the operating agreement for us to sign.
So this company just pretty much did all of this.
They did everything.
Did you have a telephone call with them?
No,
just back
it was
and forth.
Just an email.
Email.
It was just an email.
Yeah.
They did everything for us, and they also provide service as our tax agent there in the U.S. to deal with the regular tax filings that we'll need to make.
Right.
Even though we don't have to pay tax.
Right.
There.
And so so you created an LLC.
Yes.
Now, the company office location doesn't really matter where it is.
So part of creating the LLC in the U.S. was having a registered virtual office in the U.S.
And that can be anywhere.
That could be anywhere in the U.S. and you can just use an online virtual office service anywhere in the U.S.
And which one did you use?
Office. We used one in Henderson, Nevada. I can't remember the name of the service, but the tax agents recommended an well-known online one.
Yep.
And so we used that, and it cost us, I think, something like $15 a month or something like that.
Okay, and so $15 a month, you've got a virtual office in Nevada. You have a registered LLC in Wyoming.
Yes.
And so your agent basically set up this LLC, created a tax ID number, operating agreement, all of those things, and then what were all those documents that I had to sign?
Those were the documents for applying for the tax ID in the operating agreement.
Right. Okay.
Right. And so once you create the LLC and have the operating agreement in place, they can apply for the tax ID. Once you have the tax ID in hand, then you can apply to any online bank with your articles of formation, which is your LLC's formation documents and your tax ID for an online bank account. And we used Mercury.
Right, but there are several.
But there are several out there. You
NetBank
can use
yeah.
NetBank, you can use Mercury, you can use TransferWise, or you could use one of the standard U.S. banks. It's just that
Silicon Valley
Mercury,
Bank.
Silicon Valley
Yeah.
banks,
Yeah.
banks like Mercury don't require you to actually be present in the U.S. to open the bank account.
Cha-ching. There you go. That's it. Right. So they sent a whole bunch of papers over. We signed those papers, and then we're off
They
and running.
sent the articles of formation and the tax ID back to us. We just used those to register with Mercury online. Mercury took, I think it was 3 days to review all of those documents and
Brilliant.
opened our account, and
and
that's
then
it.
and then we went to Stripe, associated that Mercury bank details with the Stripe account, just as you normally would, and like 24 hours later, we're settling funds from Stripe into our online bank.
And we can make and receive payments online, and we didn't have to set foot in the U.S. to do it, and we didn't even have to have a phone call with anyone there
Wow.
to get it all set up.
Now, I mean, I remember my old school Bank of America telling me that I had to actually be physically present at the branch in San Francisco to send a wire transfer to myself in New Zealand, and being horrified at that I couldn't get my own money out of my account. I had to close my account. I mean, there's been no hurdles in repatriating the funds or setting up a wire transfer from Mercury Bank to our own bank accounts or anything like that. It's pretty straightforward.
We've both received and sent money out of the bank account, and it works fine.
Beautiful. Great. Unbelievable. Cool. And so, we've had people from Chile, from South Africa, from Serbia, most recently from UAE, all wanting to take advantage of the MacroActive platform. Obviously, we recommend that they talk to their accountant, but this is what you've done. You've solved the problem this way. What was the name of the company that we used? I remember it had pretty basic, simple name. I thought it was a lead gen hack site to begin with, but it's the real deal.
OnlineTaxman.com.
OnlineTaxman.com.
They did it all.
This is not an ad. We're not getting any sponsorship, but yeah, cool. It works, and we use Mercury Bank. That worked
Perfectly
Worked
for us.
perfect.
Still works perfectly for us.
right. Any other things that some people are? It seems like there's this rush to the UAE from so many people because of tax favorable corporate taxes, at least, or personal taxes. I'm not quite sure which one, but just what advice would you have for people to? We've also seen macroactivists start making a lot of money really fast, and think that they can outsmart the tax man. You're not a financial advisor, obviously you can't give financial advice, but in your travels, what should every person who's starting to make money fast be doing with regard to taxes?
Well, you can't outsmart the tax man. the tax man will get you and you'll go to jail. That's one of the reasons. You don't want to take that risk at all.
Yeah.
Keep a good set of books. If you don't know how to keep your accounts, get an accountant and get proper advice.
Yep. That's wise words. Great. Well, that's it for now. I hope this has been helpful. Talk soon, everyone.